Man, he going hard on 10 Jake, bro. What's up, world? What it do? Yeah, he right though. I gotta go back to some. I gotta go back and do what I do. I just needed to address that. What it do? Nah, I gotta get back on regular schedule programming, bro. You know how that go. But I'm a journalist. Sometimes I can just talk about what's on my mind, right? But I'm working on a street story right now. Somebody said, man, get back on some DC time. Shout out to all his own. What it do though? I'm alright, man. I can't complain, man. Slow motion, man. But I ain't gonna get too caught up in that. I got a whole bunch of other things I'm interested in covering. Where y'all from, man? What it do, man? What's the word, man? Top of the week, man. Gotta make something happen. About to set up some book signings. You said you're clear from all charges? What charges, bro? I ain't know you had no charges. What y'all think about 1090 Jake, man? This dude Byron Blake, he make a 1090 Jake video every hour. He make a 1090 Jake video every hour, bro. What y'all think about 1090 Jake and the GD stuff? Every time I see the top of the phone, it say 1090 Jake. Well, I guess he know how to go viral. Top of the morning, we good. Top of the morning. Well, good afternoon. Where you are, E salute. CeeLo, what it do? Shout out to the wrenches. Yeah, man. One of them jokes say GDs are gonna tan his ass. Tonight Jake ain't stunning that shit though, huh? Tonight Jake don't live in the black community, so he's not afraid. Yeah, I don't think he afraid. But like you said, he probably know that it ain't no thing for him. Or at least he feel like that. Y'all hit the like button. Yeah, we could get a couple more likes up in here though. Yeah, but I tried to put myself in his shoes and tried to think like him. I mean, you know, I can't really all the way do that, but I'm just saying, I was like, man, like, I'ma wanna go out and about. I ain't trying to be dealing with that shit right there. Yeah, I agree, Larry Hoover was solid, man. I wouldn't even play with that story. Like, I was gonna go all the way into it with Highsmith and all this, but then you gotta backtrack Highsmith. Even Highsmith coming out to clear Larry Hoover name now put him under scrutiny. He moved on with his life. He got shit going on now. His background being checked and his name being drug into the street code of the internet. I know he like, bruh, y'all talking to me about something that happened in 1968. This one time where I'm gonna mind my business. Yeah. Timothy Taylor said at 1090 Jake did this in the 90s, then it would have been an entirely different situation. Yeah. Hell yeah. I don't even got to expound on that. It would have been an entirely different situation. I mean, in the right situation today, it could be an entirely different situation too, though. See, I don't think. See, I think the internet just be looking at shit from the perspective of looking at your phone or looking at a screen or looking at a tablet. But that guy is a guy that really has people that love him to another level, bro. Like they'll stand in front of danger for him. Some people. He still can run into the wrong or right person. Yeah, that's any day of the week, but I do still dig his point that if it was in the 90s, man, the 90s, it might have been a different situation faster. You say Jake wouldn't open his mouth back then. I can't say what he would do, what he would do, or what he wouldn't do. You know what I mean? I can't really say. He did it now. I mean, and for the YouTube conversation, I know that's a small thing to talk about when you're talking about somebody's life and their legacy. A person that spent 50 years in prison, standing on that they walking like they talking, they are who they say they are. You can't do that, man. I don't even want to keep talking. You can't do that, man. Yo, eat the internet and the fans of these fools believing they are relevant. How could that white boy think he could question the old man's integrity? I couldn't believe he did it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, 90s would have definitely been a different experience for dude. Yeah, it could be a different experience today. Like some people have not ran across, heard of, and in some cases can't even imagine how serious some people are. He said you couldn't even throw a pitchfork down here in Chicago in the 90s. He say somebody would have popped out like Lucifer in the 90s. They say even enemies didn't do that. I've never heard no such a thing, bruh. And then, like, I know dudes that was on the tip with this man for years, man. I know old timers from the El Rugans that was in the penitentiary with me, like Roger and them that was on the case with Jeff Fort. I done met some young GDs, man, that been in the system 30 years now. Back then, this was 15 years ago. They had been in 15 years at the time. Like, I ain't never heard a whisper of no shit like that. I believe the feds did them like that because of the political shit, but Donald Trump done pardoned all that now. So it's all on state shit now. That's all gangster shit. Say white folks believe that if you had the power to stop wars, you got the power to start them. That sound like that. That sound like that line like from Melvin Williams, what they said about him pertaining to stopping riots and starting riots, but that come from the art of war technically. Byron Dickinson, what's up? Shout out to South Carolina, man. Yeah, his name is Highsmith. He said Larry Hoover ain't telling on him. That's the end of the conversation. This ain't me talking about 1090 Jake. 1090 Jake is not the issue with me. I'm not gonna make no big issue that 1090 Jake saw a newspaper article that really exists and did his thing. The bigger question for a fact finder is why did the newspaper say it? Who said it? How did that get there? And how Smith addressed that as well. How? He clearly stated that the newspaper article had the scenario wrong. He said it didn't happen like that. If he said that it didn't happen like that and they got that wrong, why couldn't they get the rest of it wrong? Who planted the story? Who was the police officer that allegedly, took this statement? Come on, bro. It's too many questions that a person that got good sense got to ask themselves. Say Larry a legend. He up there with Bird. We got people outside the culture who's more popular because the bot subscribe support them. The bot subscribers support them. Even lawyers outside the culture who profit on the culture on YouTube channels. I saw a lot of lawyers talking about the culture, especially the black culture, urban culture. Because I'm saying, let's not forget that some white people are part of urban culture. So urban culture and black culture are not always synonymous. Hidden agenda. Kenny Mack, what's happening, son? In the 90s, folks was an army. They had the hood looking like the 300 movie on a daily basis. I used to hear about, I used to spend some time in Ohio and we had traveled back and forth to different Midwest cities because my grandmother did the traveling church thing. So sometime I went with them on them trips. And I used to run across them GDs back then. I didn't really know what was up with them, but that's my time in the Midwest. I encountered them. So by the time I met them in jail, and the ones that's in the federal system, No disrespect to the ones that's in the state system all the way down south, but the organization in the federal system appears to be a little different to me. I wish my Chicago crew was up in here so somebody could correct me, but in my opinion, the structure of all groups in the feds is a little bit more sophisticated than in some state joints. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk like I got some all-knowing understanding of it, but I'm just telling you what I experienced. Now, I got homies that did time in state joints, state systems like Georgia. I mean, Virginia is a different state system. I don't even want to include Maryland because if you're in the Maryland system, it's just like being in between Baltimore and D.C. But that's a state system. But I'm talking about where GDs don't have no stronghold in no Maryland system, not to my knowledge. I never heard. I ain't gonna say it ain't a GD in the Maryland system, but when you talk about who's sitting at the table, what the pecking order is in the Maryland system, I don't believe there's a GD presence significant enough. But as I'm thinking about it, I just don't think that I check with it, but I'm sure somebody will come on here and say if that was different. Somebody pointed out. Saying my GD now, bro. Somebody said I disagree with you on that. Urban culture and black culture is the same. Urban culture is just a term for white people who act black and imitate black American culture to have a space and a voice. You got a good point. Urban culture is black culture. I was kind of thinking globally, right? I agree with you. I ain't gonna argue with you on that because that's my belief. But I read a book recently that was talking about urban ghettos in Europe, right? And there were no black people in those urban ghettos. No disrespecting nobody, but there were only Jews in some of those ghettos. So that's why I was thinking a little broader. But yeah, over here where we from, urban culture is black culture. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna agree with you on that. At least determine where in the way we use it. I can't disagree with you on that. Salute to all the real ones. Damn, white Drewski, I don't know what. What's good? Iceman, what's up? Man, what's good? E, are there known Bloods and Crips in the DMV? Somebody told me that there are a couple. I don't know no prominent group that controls nothing, but I met a dude. I met a dude in New Carrollton one time at a suit store, and he introduced himself to me, and everything about his vibe was man. He was like, "Yeah, man, I heard you talking about something, something, something." Cause a dude I knew had got into something with some Bloods, and he was like, "Man, the Blood dude was a thorough motherfucker." He said that was me. I forgot his name at this point, but he said he was a Blood, and he said, man, he was repping certain or some specific part of Prince George's County. He was like, man, you could check on me with this person and that person. These guys was locked up, but I don't know no whole bunch of them. Like I know a dude that say they're a crip or two here or there, but growing up, I ain't know a bunch of them. Right now, I'm not gonna say I know a bunch of them. I don't know that to be a fact. And like one young nigga that I had with me, he was saying, "E, it's a set of Crips." And I ain't even gonna put the neighborhood out there, but he said in this particular neighborhood, he said it's a set of Crips. Another young dude told me that he knew of some. I don't know this to be a fact, so I hope my Southeast homies don't get upset with me. But he said over Southeast somewhere, he knew of some. He knew of some Crips, one or two. But I can't really stamp that like that, huh? Well, most DC guys in the feds getting money. What you a gold digger or something? No gangs in DC. Somebody said facts. Y'all got Temple Street there. I don't know what that is, homie. I'm with you on the urban culture, E. Okay. I wasn't trying to get too political. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. Son, what's happening, son? Nikki B. What it do? Much love. Yeah. So, that's what I think about that particular situation, bro. Man, it's past lunchtime. You know what's up, Brick Squad? Peace from the Bay Area, man. I've been feeling like a Bay Area trip, but I got an interview coming up. I ain't even gonna talk about it. I ain't one of them dudes, but I'm gonna have to end up taking a flight up out of here for a second. As my YouTube career begins to ascend, I'm gonna have to start, man, watching what I say out my mouth here and there, man. DC stand up, man. I appreciate the love. You know I appreciate the love. Has there been any update on the Trayon? I think you're saying Trayon White situation. Not that I know of. I ain't checked. I ain't even checked the paper today though. Man, I miss Chuck Brown. Oh man, shout out to the Godfather. Oh Chuck Brown. Oh, beautiful day downtown DC. Yeah. I took a little jog with my dogs, a light joint, like 20 minutes. It was nice out there. I had this little joint on right here. This ain't thick. Need some books, E. You read Hellraiser Honeys, Nikki B? You cool with Hellraiser Honeys? It's 75 in the city. That's nice. All right, I got that series on hand. Like I got that series in the car. You wanted? There's three of them. Or you just want one? Yeah, I remember reading Lord Legends at 13. You read Lord Legends at 13, bro? What was you doing reading Lord Legends at 13? Why was you interested in reading that book? Man, I remember. I want to get some though, but hey, my folks lost his house in Atlanta. Tornado came through, destroyed his house, and threw his son 100 yards from the house. Y'all send prayers to my man Trey Chaney. Oh yeah, yeah, prayers for Trey Chaney. I saw that on the news. I won three. When you want them, I got that. You want them today, Nikki B? Ice man, it was ugly here in St. Louis too. Oh, shout out to St. Louis, man. My prayers go out to all y'all, man. Hope everybody, man, recover safely, man. Those natural disasters ain't nothing to play with. I've never been in one. But I did see that he said somewhere in Henry County that they lift the whole house up off the ground and tore the whole house up. They even covered it on the news up here in passing somewhere. Yeah, it was in my dad's house. My uncle sent it to my dad. Oh, salute, bro. Nikki B, hello, queen. Yeah, prayers up for Trey. Situation was crazy. Allah is merciful. Steven, the same PBC having trouble finding the money to pay Tank and Lamont Roach for the rematch. I ain't know that. Whenever you get a chance, put my joints to the side. I got them today. And you available today, Nikki B? Cause I gotta go to the post office and make a stop. I could put that in my daily run. I'm a one man band. I gotta run the business myself. I run my business from home. Ah man, I run my business from home. Whenever you get a chance, boom, boom. All right, son got thrown 300 feet. Yeah, I heard that. I read a lot of your novels from the age of 13 to 15, man. I appreciate that, man. Anybody out there that's into reading, you like urban fiction with a little twist of historical reality, check out an Eon Williams book. You go to Amazon.com. Some of them I get it to your autographed copy. You go to EonWilliams.com. Matter of fact, on the author publisher tip, just check out my personal Instagram page, Uptown Eon. Uptown, all together, Eon, EYONE. Hey, Nikki B, today I'm busy. Wednesday will be perfect. All right, let's try to do it Wednesday. I got the books put to the side. I got some fresh ones, so just stay on me. All right, Nikki B. We'll take care of that. Did Tank ever start the remodeling of the apartments he purchased in Baltimore around a year ago? I ain't up on that story. I'm 26 now. So you said you've read a few of the books? I got some, man, you gotta check out this joint called Never Lay Down. I don't hear a lot of people talk about Never Lay Down. Never Lay Down that was a good joint too. Especially for people that, want to understand some about what the justice system be about. They put some type of restriction on my video about a gully. That say less, say no more. Good morning, good afternoon from my side. I read Never Lay Down. What you think about Never Lay Down? That's one of my most slept on books. I really like Never Lay Down. I ain't got no copy of that joint in here. I got a copy of Money Ain't Everything. You got to check out Money Ain't Everything. But Never Lay Down, that was one of my favorite books. I just wrote it so early in my writing. I don't like to say career, but I wrote it so early in my writing journey. You know what I mean? That it could have been a little bit better. But the raw essence of the story is there. A lot of my earlier books, I wrote them in jail. And I was trying to make sure I ain't write nothing stupid. Great novel. I read the book twice. Man, I appreciate the love. I ain't gonna get on that right now. I'm gonna leave that alone. Great novel. I read the book twice. Said I read Never Lay Down. Where you get Never Lay Down from? I had to get him with it. Somebody said, man, leave him alone. Focus on DC business. I used to read Iceberg Slim. And many books. Supreme was telling me you used to sell your books on Indiana Avenue by the court building. Laugh out loud. I forgot about them days. You missing plenty of money. Government workers. I got too much going on to stand outside now. Back then, I was just coming home. I was free. And DC Book Depot had a mobile bookstore. So that really was never my thing. That was DC Book Depot's mobile bookstore. Had multiple locations around the city. It started out as me just being a author that was featured on a day, but since I was home, I was meeting people that was purchasing books. It was a huge population of people that was any of them government builders back then before COVID. At lunchtime, it's like school let out. It's hundreds of people. I might sell 50, 60 books in one morning. That was better than selling drugs. Hand-to-hand drugs. Don't let me, I ain't talking about big boy drugs. I'm talking about some dudes come outside peddling, they sell hand-to-hand. They don't make that much money in one morning, some people. But I was making more money than some dudes that was jamming, selling books by the court building. You missing plenty of money now, huh, man? How big was Tabby Bonet in Washington, D.C.? I think Tabby Bonet is a household name when it comes to Washington, D.C. music. He don't be into no type of bullshit, so you ain't gonna hear his name over and over and over again. And I mean, he don't have a whole bunch of haters either. See, a lot of dudes from D.C. that got haters, you only hear about them because their haters talk about them. Tabby ain't one of them type of dudes that be in that type of shit. That's a personal friend of mine. We went to school together. That was one of my best friends growing up. Yeah, still down there. Facts. Hold on. Tabby is a school teacher. He had a few bangers. He's no longer a school teacher, Hassan, but he used to teach school. Tabby was average, nothing special. Nah, that's my man. I ain't gonna call him average at all. Like I understand. Like his father is a musician. You dig what I'm saying? His father was a musician from Togo. So a lot of creativity and artistic things that Tabby put into his music, some people just not gonna see no respect. But me, I'm a lover of music. We could go back to Bob Marley and certain musics like that. Tabby come from a stock of creative people like that. A Toddy, if I ain't even mistaken, I don't want to say his father's name wrong. That was my man, may he rest in peace. He was a musician in Togo, Africa. That's how they came over here. So even though you may be saying Tabby's average, I think you saying that in the perspective of where he's staying at in DC music. But Tabby come from a long line of musicians, bro. A long line, a long heritage of musicians. I mean, look his father up, a Toddy Bonet. So like, he's way more connected to music than just rap or just American hip hop. Yeah, they still down there fast. Can't wait to hear the new Frey Bean joint. Ah, man, I want to. I'm working on it, man. I'm working on that like a book. But I think I'm gonna start it out slow. I'm gonna just start it out with other things that I've already covered with Frey, and see what type of buzz I get. All praise to the Most High. I agree with you on that. Can't wait for the new Frey Bean. Okay, just was checking in. Everyone have a great day. Brick Squad salute. Much love, Nikki B. You know what it is. What's up, kid from Kid and Play? Ha 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 ha. You so funny. Great point, Eon. Oh, you talking about Tabby, right, or son? I mean, I don't want to get too musically historic, but I know Tabby. Like I know him personally. He ain't some dude that I just met him and took a pic. I know him. I done spent the night at his house. He done spent the night at my house. We went to the same school. We played basketball together. We traveled to see each other. Like I really know him. He visited me in prison. Yeah, I know. I know him. Okay, son, I know you know him. So Tabby fashion scene came exclusively from DC. I don't think when you a person like him that was already leaving, visiting continent to continent as a teenager, some people haven't even been out of the DMV from where I'm from. When you travel like a person like him, I ain't talking about as an adult. I'm talking about as a young person. When you travel like him, you are exposed to different fashions. For an example, I got homies in my part of town that have Jamaican, they're from Jamaican descent. They always had a scheme for colors and art and fashion. Like shout out to Kobe and Kareem. Look at their fashion. Look at their art. It's always colorful. It's always like it's a style to it. Tabby got that same type of creativity with him. I think it comes from our ancestors, to be honest with you. Y'all need to check out I Wonder by Eon Williams, just saying if you like good music. Okay, Iceman. That being said, he's still below average. In what? In rap? What's the word, Eon? All is well. Yeah, they loves him in Africa. They love him in quite a few places. Bob Marley, Lucky Dube, Jimmy Cliff, Gregory Isaac. Let me just name some shit. DMV love, cuz, yeah. Hey, bro, no, for real. I done met many of your homeboys, man. Some sharp dudes. Iron sharper iron, bro. Continue forward, man, with the positivity and bringing the people what they want here, man. Devin, man, I appreciate that. Salute. Harlem, what's up, Harlem? Hey, bro. Marvel, Capcom. I don't know what the fuck you mean by Capcom. Whatever happened to Gold Link? Gold Link is an international. Gold Link still doing this thing. Just because this person is from DC, I don't follow everybody's musical trajectory from DC though. Many rappers' dads were musicians. Nas, fact. Gene Gray, I don't know who that is. One of the locks. I could probably name a couple of them. Let me see. How many people can we name that fathers were musicians? Well, fathers, if you say father was a musician, that's a specific thing. I was just thinking like musician in the family, so I'm gonna leave that one alone. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Black Americans has a rich musical legacy bigger than hip hop had. Bigger than hip hop. His father got put on playing funk music, then combining funk with whatever they play back in Africa called Afro funk. Oh, look at I'm chilling. I ain't know that. I don't know it all. I didn't know that that was man. You just taught me something. Black Americans have a rich musical legacy bigger than hip hop. His father got put on playing funk music, then combining funk with whatever they played back in Africa called Afro funk. I didn't know that. Shout out to the chat. Salute, bro. You going for Lamont Roach or Tank in the rematch? I like Roach. I'm going with Roach. I went with Roach last fight. That don't mean I don't like Tank. That don't mean I got nothing against Tank or none of that. That don't mean I got nothing against Baltimore. So kill it before it starts. It's a YouTuber named Dewana that goes deep into the creation and history of Black American music genre by genre. So I guess they got a YouTube channel. Since you said it's a YouTuber, I try to check it out. Do they speak specifically about Tabby's father and Afro funk? Junkies flow all flow on all platforms. Jabu Junkies flow on all platforms. Below average on rap and producing. Okay, Mango. I don't have no problem with your opinion. I mean, and I can't argue you about what you like. I like, if you like No Savage or you like Giz Wop or vice versa, I can't argue with you about who you like. Who you like is who you like. Like, I like Audis. I like BMWs. I don't really like Fords. Man, I can't get into that New Balance conversation no more. I don't know what Jim Jones talking about. If you want me to say something, I say that. Check out James Wood. He plays on the Washington National. He attended St. John's Cadets on military. I used to go to St. John's for summer school. Not the dumb summer school. The summer school you go to hone your skills like a training camp. They had a writing program up there. My aunt put me in when I was a teenager. Probably one of the reasons I was able to excel at writing in prison, even though I only had a ninth grade education. But I had all type of different forms of education that allowed me to kind of educate myself while in prison. He can ball, Eon. All right. Somebody need to do research and a video on how international politics and wars affect people in the streets. Man, that's like a 60 minutes topic, bro. Dudes from New York always claiming gear and fashion. DC pushed lots of sneakers from sporting them. That's true. Do you know Slim named Reggie Douglas? He said on Vlad that he was close to Frey. That's a true bill. I do know who that is. We call him New York Reggie. I didn't watch all that video. Matter of fact, I do want to go back and watch that video. It might be some stuff in there that I could elaborate on, because you just gave me an idea. You just gave me an idea, man. Who just said that? Brian Thompson channel? You just gave me an idea. Matter of fact, let me write it down. Good looking. Shout out to New York Reggie. That's his name. And I'm gonna try to watch that Vlad video, like I said, so I can refresh my memory on some stuff. Hassan say Afro funk, Afro pop, Amma piano. If I said that correctly, I hope I said that correctly, Hassan. Saying all's well in the 90s was a Blackstone Chicago gang slogan on how Blackstone Rangers greeted each other. Damn, I ain't know that. Never heard that at least. Shout out to the Blackstones. I met a lot of the older, I don't know what's up with new pop, new generation, but I met a lot of the old Blackstone Rangers. Tagged them. His YouTube channel was called The Wanna. If I'm saying that right, and nah, he don't. He focuses strictly on Black American music and talks about the evolution of music from the blues and church rhythm to rhythm. That sounds good. Rhythm and blues and so on. Okay, Audis had many mechanical problems back in the day. We can get deep talking about cars. Yeah, so did that Saab, man, and the Alfa Romeo. But these days, the Audi, man, the Audi is a roadster. It do good nowadays, especially in the last 10 years. What's up, cuz? What's up, cuz from the Riggs area? Salute. We don't wear all New Balance in DC. That's when you know who is who. Okay. I said what I said about international politics and the streets because I just watched a clip of a dude who made the connection between the war in Afghanistan ending to heroin drying up in the streets. I'm chilling. Let me say something on that. I don't really truly believe that theory that anything in Afghanistan added to real junk drying up in the streets. I believe that in an attempt to get a stranglehold on a dope game, that the Mexicans introduced a high level of fit into the game So if you was a D-boy and you sold real junk, you can't make no money because the Mexicans introduced fit into the regular D-boy game, and then the people who use it to buy the drugs, they walk by niggas who got real junk. In my town, you can't sell real junk because they got the Fendi out. So what you saying is a good conversation, but I would debate it. But I still think that some of those global politics had something to do with that. Because if you even watch some of those National Geographic specials where they show you how to, even the Mexicans, and they try to blame it on Chapo, single-handedly change the economy of the dope game, the real dope game. I'm not a dude to speak like, when I say dope game, I'm not talking about coke, meth. When I say dope, I'm talking about opioids. I'm not talking about pills. I'm talking about junk. I'm talking about what people may sniff or shoot or bang. But I believe the Mexicans are to blame for the heroin game being on zero. Like, I don't even know if you could find if a person had, like, I grew up with parents that had drug problems, right? Damn, that's a terrible headbutt. But I know the behaviors of people who suffer from heroin addiction. I never make fun of it. I never belittle it. I'm a person that grew up with it in my household. But people who are on junk, they don't want no Diet Coke. They want a burp. And that's all I say, because I don't want to sound like that I'm condoning or educating such, but I'm a child that grew up in a household that had parents that were addicted to drugs. I know exactly what the struggle was about. I said what I said, man. You might have to pay me, Eon. This is the second idea I gave you. The first one was about Frey and Wayne. Salute. Them 1,000 New Balance are it. 1,000? I don't know if I'm hip. Facts. As for New Balance, DC definitely not sporting all the numbers. That's for sure. Yeah, you said it right. Okay, I said it right. Salute. I'm a couple comments behind. I missed the 1300s and the 990s. Those are some of my favorite. Yeah, two of my homies had Alfa Romeo joints. They look sweet. I like that car. My uncle had one. My uncle had an Alfa Romeo. My father had the Audi 5000 when that joint was supposed to be the shit. Frey had this little car called a Bitter. He used to pull up in front of my grandmother's house. My uncle Greg had the Ferrari. You might see all of them together. Wookie came home from jail in like late 80 maybe. Late 80, nah, that might have been, Wookie had an Acura Legend, so that might have been 90 something. Yeah, because I took a visit with my aunt to Lewisburg. The only time I ever been in Lewisburg, we went to see Wookie, Myra Thomas, DC legend. Yeah, two of my homies had Alfa Romeos. I missed the old DC Go-Go from the late 80s, and DC was raw then. Much respect, Eon. Salute, Alan. Is Jaden Daniels a superstar to the local community in the DC area? I know amongst me and the subculture he is. JD Fives and the man is the man, 100% for us, Commander fans. Yeah, shout out to my man, gave me that idea. I'm gonna make sure I try to get on top of that. I'm gonna put this sticky on the TV. I can't forget it. I can't forget it, bro. Gotta get ready to make me something to eat. I'm gonna do a healthy joint. I'm gonna do me some fruit and some protein. I went and did. I had a physical. The doctor gave me one of them diet papers. You know, help you eat healthy. You know, lower your cholesterol, maintain your blood sugar. Terrence Crawford abused Sean Porter. I didn't even watch this fight. My pop had XJ12, double exhaust gas tank, candy apple red. God damn. You said you could talk cars. Jaguar XJ12. That's interesting. I didn't know that about the Mexicans, but Hector Barrelese, I can't say it. Not sure if I'm spelling it correctly, who a former knock agent said out his mouth on Vlad that they work with the alphabet people, so it all still involves the government. Yeah, that's why I ain't dispute your thing. I just added my perspective. I watch a bunch of shit. I watch How to Catch a Smuggler. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give y'all a secret about my writing. I've never had a Mexican connect that'll send me 100,000 bricks. So when I'm writing, I like my writing to be realistic. In prison, I used to read a lot of books. Like, I got a book right here I'm reading. In prison, I read a lot of books, and I get my scenes for things that I didn't know or hadn't seen from books. Now I'm in the free world. I cut the TV on, go to YouTube or go to some television show that covers it. If you watch How to Catch a Smuggler, Narcos, not the movie. I'm talking about the Jones when they investigate and like National Geographic. They go up in the mountains of Mexico. It'll show you all the stuff that I'm talking about pertaining to like some of the jumps I don't believe, but they got a lot of these shows where the people be having on the mask. And they be having to think about, yeah, I've been working for the cartel for 10 years. What do you do? Oh, I just pick up money and drive. Oh, I'm a Sicario. I watch that shit. And it'll give you some type of understanding of how to set your scene. Now, I'm the creator of the story, but for the sake of a book that I have, that there's some Mexico pox in there. I traveled to Mexico, drove around in Mexico, bought weed. Matter of fact, as a matter of fact, I might do a YouTube on that. Like I drove around in Mexico by myself. I left the party, left the resort, went out, met some motherfuckers that could speak a little English, did like this, where the weed at. They directed me to a smoke shop. I went inside the smoke shop. This is a true story on my mother. In Cabo, Mexico. Went into the smoke shop. The dude that ran the smoke shop was from San Diego. Some type of way, he peeped my accent. I peeped his accent. I thought he was from LA. He said, no, but I'm from San Diego, Holmes. He said, where you from? Baltimore? Virginia? I said, nah, DC. He was like, yeah, some. We got to talking. He showed me the different weeds. I'm from DC. We like to smell the weed before we buy it and shit like that, inspect it. So I was like, man, can I smell it? So he was like, man, you can smell these ones right here. That's mine. He said, these ones right here, you can't smell them. They sealed. They come sealed. They came sealed like the old dope boy of the. I said I don't use dope that word like that, but like the old coke bags they used to burn them, or the old weed bags they used to burn them. He said that the cartel delivered their weed bags to the smoke shop with the bag sealed. So no matter what, you can't pop it open. And I went to two smoke shops in Mexico, in Cabo, and both of the smoke shops had a section that they claim is cartel weed and a section is their weed. And you can't smoke the cartel weed. You take it or leave it. That's a true story. Then I ain't seen that on National Geographic or nothing, but you know I ain't going to smoke shop with the camera out with the video out, so that don't exist. But I might got some videos of me walking through the alleys. But anybody who been to know that I even had a video of the weed, like the weed was okay too. What bro I say? Crawford is going to abuse Canelo in September. Alphabet Boys. Son say, yeah, been around tons of cars. I cannot drive beyond crazy as it seems, but yeah, but you know the car game. I've been driving cars since 12 years old. My father had a Chevy Savette when he came home from Lawton, and he let me drive that joint around the parking lot 100,000 times. Crawford got to worry about Canelo being on steroids. Canelo trainer Eddie Reynoso has had multiple fighters pop dirty for using steroids. Do I speak Spanish? Not enough to maneuver, but I got a sister that speaks Spanish. Not because she's Spanish, but she was a foreign exchange student in Mexico during her college years. Man, for loud, damn. I wonder what's up with cartel weed. Like, would they grow it or if they lace it or something. The cartel weed, I bought a bag just to say I bought a bag. It was all what we call huff here. The cartel weed was bullshit. That's why I told the dude, I said, you can't smell it. He said, nah, you take it or leave it. He said, but this is their weed. They drop it off. It's this section and this price. It ain't it's a non-negotiable. And the cartel weed there, I'm not saying, I'm sure if I was connected or I was buying an ounce of weed or something like that, I probably could have got to another level. But the smoke shop is just around the way shit, like the gas station weed. The cartel weed, the weed that they had sealed up in them bags, it was what we call bullshit. If you, I don't know how many of y'all follow my Instagram page, but on the Instagram, I got videos where I was smoking a different weed. I ain't want to play with my YouTube page like that, but I got a little travel vlog I did on YouTube about Turks and Caicos. And me as being as I'm a weed smoker, I had a little section on it where I was talking about tree. I got some shout out to my man Trick from uptown. He put me with a good man in Turks and Caicos. This was his man. He will pull up and bring me the tree. Anywhere. Anywhere in Turks and Caicos. We wasn't that good the first couple of days because we had came right after a major, like, some type of events down there in Turks and Caicos. Then there was some type of hip hop, Caribbean type hip hop event going on in town that night, and all the weed was gone. But the day before I left, he bought us some good weed. He said, man, this is rapper weed. That's what he called it. But it was just some okay, good zop over here. It wouldn't have been nothing special over here. When I first heard about Bloods and Crips being out here in D.C., and PG, I was surprised. I was surprised too. I didn't even believe it. Like I had to talk to somebody that really was in the mix of that. Okay, here my man Juwan tapped in. What he talking about today? Would you agree LeBron James is not top 10 best player in the league right now? Is not top 10? Nah, I'm gonna let you name the 10 people before him though. I ain't gonna get into that one right this second, Juwan. I was gonna buy a four-wheel drive Pathfinder 91 before I went back to Lord. The Pathfinder was one of my favorite trucks. You remember the GMC Jimmy? I can definitely believe it was Huff. The cartel seemed like the type of dudes who sell Huff. Nah, that's why I said it that way, because then we went to the dirt bike. I'm talking about dirt bike. We went to the four-wheeler. We went to the four-wheeler resort. The four-wheeler resort had some people that had their own weed, but they were scared to sell the weed on the resort. And they claimed that the resort, very safe, very clean, very family orientated too. I forgot the name of it. I got pictures of it. I'm gonna do a little YouTube vlog on it for something different. See if y'all watch it. Put thumbs up if you want to see my Mexico vlog, but they were scared to sell you the weed. Like the dude kept saying, nah, Holmes, you gonna have to wait till you leave. He would not sell me that weed on that resort. He would not. I mean, like, if fear was a person, you seen he was not playing. But he turned out to be good. He cool people. We let him hit our weed. We had the weed from the other dude that we met in the urban area in the inner city of Cabo. We had that weed with us. So me, I'm gonna smoke. I said, they gave us an option. For $150, you could take the four-wheeler tour in a group of 10 to 15. Just so happened we came in a few minutes late, and the lady was like, you could take the group tour, you could take the private tour. The group tour starts again at this much time and this much time for the private tour. So I said, how much is the private tour? She said, $300. I said, all right, boom, $300. I thought the whole thing was gonna be $300. I was like, all right, we'll take the private tour. So the private tour came with a young Mexican dude. He told us all. He the one told us the spots to go to and all the different type of stuff. I got pictures and videos, and he's showing us how to feed the camels. But I said, look, can I smoke? He was like, yeah, but it's good that you got private. He said, I'm gonna take you out to the water. Now Mexico, Cabo, and all parts of Mexico has beaches that they call non-swimmable. They got a flag system. If you see black flags, that's like almost imminent death. If you see the red flag, it's almost the same thing. All the beaches where we stopped at had the black flag. That means that you go out that junk, you're not gonna come back. And I seen Mexican natives out there fishing, they're called people who buck the system. Hold on 1 second. I got a text that I got to answer. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Yeah, my bad. I know about Bloods being in PG, bop, 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 bop. All right, I got to make a run real quick. I got some fly women at least. I'll be back, y'all. Salute to the chat.